Manchester United fans, Man United Central. I'm your boy Luther, guys. Listen, are you ready for this? Well, listen, we have a game plan, all right? And it goes like this. Uh, the, you know what? Let me ask you this. If somebody was to ask you, right, when do you expect Manchester United to win the Premier League? I got a date for you. Yeah, we have a date. So, uh, this is crazy, but the plan is this: Man United's Premier League plan is to win the Premier League by 2028, and I know that's crazy, right? But also, there's some talks that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants a return. What's going on with that? So if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming back, it means Ten Hag in trouble. All right, let's talk about it, man. People, welcome back to another live when it comes to Manchester United. And I'm your boy Luther. I appreciate you guys being here. Smash those likes, hit that subscribe if you haven't done so. All right, so this is gonna be an interesting one, right? So first up, so this whole talking about 2028 Man United winning the Premier League, it comes from Project 150, right? So have you guys heard about this? Let me know in the comments below if you have heard about Project 150. Well, Manchester United has set a goal to win the Premier League by 2028, just in time for our 150th anniversary. Yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's great to have an ambition, right? But on the other hand, 2028, I don't know. To me, I feel it's a little bit soon, right? It feels a little bit soon, but can this can this be achieved? What do you guys think? Is it realistic target? Or are we just giving ourselves time just for the heck of time, right? Now, here's where things get interesting, right? Omar Barada, our chief executive, has said the club wants this to happen under Erik Ten Hag. And they're sticking with him for now. But the big but here is we need to see results as soon as possible. No more excuses, no more injuries, right? No bad form, whatever. It needs to happen ASAP, right? So basically, Ten Hag needs to step up his game. People, smash a like as you're coming in, hit that subscribe. So look, first of all, let's just be honest, okay? Let's just be honest. How much time do we think Ten Hag really has? Especially with the likes of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer openly, right, saying that he's up for a return. Yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is up for a return, guys. I can already see some of the comments lighting up. What? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer again back? Now, is it, I know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is, a club legend, right? And, with him, even when he did the interview after being sacked, you can see tears coming from his eyes and all that, because he really loved Manchester United, but we had to let him go. So, these reports coming I saw this from ESPN, that, he was asked if he would be willing to come back to Manchester United. Ole said, listen, when a family is in trouble and they come to you for help, what do you do? Right? He said he doesn't like to talk about a job that is already being occupied by somebody else, right? He doesn't like to do that. But, but it's a family. Means that he feels Manchester United is his family. I understand, Ole. I understand. So he said, if a family member comes to you and say, hey, man, we need you. You are the one that who can get us to Project 150. You are the one who can get us to that goal of 2028. Manchester United winning the Premier League. You are the guy. Listen, of course I'm going to say yes. So Ole was like, listen, he doesn't like talking about, projects that, obviously somebody else is on there. But he was asked a question by a reporter. And he said, yeah, I mean, I'll definitely go back to Manchester United. I will go back today, tomorrow, anytime. If you wake me up on my sleep, do you want to go back to manage Manchester United? Ole will be like, yeah, count me in. Where do I sign? Right? And so basically, it's one of those things that, when a club legend talks about a job where Eric Ten Hag is already on there, people smash that like as you're coming in, hit the subscribe if you haven't done so, guys. Listen, it is crazy. We're talking about Manchester United. Links of Manchester United. We have a time frame, guys. We have a time frame on when we should expect Manchester United, yes, winning the Premier League. We are going to finally topple Man City. We're finally going to, beat Liverpool. We're going to beat Arsenal, all of them. 2028, Man United should be at the top. I know, these are ambitious goals, right? But this is coming from our CEO, people. John Simlock, what's going on, my man? Smash a like. Thank you so much for being here. Listen, I know. Listen, there's some people really, really like the idea of Oli. They like Oli. During Oli time, we had some good times, right? We had some good times. We got some good wins. It was good vibes all the time. But really, I mean, bringing Oli back, is it like revisionist, like a revisionist thing? Like, oh, you're going back instead of going forward, right? What do you guys think about that, right? I was there yesterday, but oh, my man John, yeah, you were there at the game yesterday. Oh man, how did you feel, man? Like, I mean that game, I was watching it. I'm watching it from here, from the United States. I mean, it was painful. It was painful. Like, Ten Hag did already say he doesn't like to hurt something he loves. Obviously, he loves my Twente, but that game was a disgrace. How was it for you guys who are on and watching it live, right? Did Ten Hag? I don't know if did I see some boos or did I hear some boos or something like that, right? Let me know. But yeah, man, yesterday's game was disappointing. Long travel, stayed overnight over there, but that was atrocious. I agree, John. I agree. It was. I mean, and it's one of those, like, first of all, with Twente scoring that goal, it basically, I forgot the Twente's player's name, right? He bypassed at least like what, five of our players, and all of them just let him go through. What's up with that, right? So it was atrocious. And also, of course, Ericsson, from being a hero, he turned to be a villain. I don't know why he thought he had all the time in the world, right? Instead of clearing that ball or something, and Maguire just, diving, it was crazy. Comical errors all over the place, right? The mood at the stadium was not good. Yeah, because the thing is, this is Ten Hag's third season, right? And we should expect to be, challenging, right? Especially at Twente, we should be like, by the time halftime, we should be up like 3 goals or something. So, and then also I can imagine with you guys at the stadium, the weather was terrible at Manchester yesterday, right? Based on what I saw from other news and stuff like that. Weather was terrible. You guys battled through that to get to the game and to watch that. I cannot imagine. All right. He's trying something that is not logical. Yeah, especially his subs. Ten Hag subs. Come on, man. At one point you got, yes, Bruno is your captain, but still you can sub him, because what's the point of keeping Bruno in the game and playing him on the right wing? It doesn't make any sense. Right, bringing in Mount, Rasmus, and who was in Garnacho so late in the game, they can't really impact the game at that point, right? So, I mean, yeah, I agree with you, Jay. What's going on, Jay? Smash a like, Jay. Thank you so much for joining. Listen, I mean, Jay, of course, Maguire needs to be sold for sure. He just survived this time around because there was really not that many people coming for him. Yeah. So Ten Hag, he's kind of shooting himself in the foot. Everybody in the stadium for us watching from far, we could see like Bruno needed to be subbed. He was not giving us anything, right? I know Bruno is going through a terrible patch right now. Yes, Bruno is our captain and all this stuff, but he needed to be on the bench, But again, is he going to drop him for the Tottenham game? You guys let me know what you guys think. Is he going to drop Bruno for the Tottenham game? Uh, Jay, you know what, Jay, I'm with you, man. He needs to bring in to set an example, right? Bring in the academy kids because the academy kids they're pulling trees, man. They're winning, Yeah, John. See, I don't see him benching Bruno for the Tottenham game. It's such a big game, and again, if he brings him in, yeah, Bruno will be there. That's what I thought too. Yeah, that's what I've been thinking, man. Like, there's no way he won't bench Bruno because again, it's one of those. It's a big game at home, and who if you bench Bruno, who's going to captain the game? It doesn't matter, but still, Ten Hag, the way he rolls is he likes to play his players into form because he believes, okay, I know Bruno is going through a bad patch. Let me just play him, right? And yes, John, I agree with you. That's exactly because yesterday what he could have done is take out Bruno, play Zirks in the 10, bring Rasmus in, then you could be cooking because Xerxes can play that role, right? Because now in the past we were like, okay, we don't have really players who can play that Bruno role and all this stuff, the link up play, but Xerxes can do that for us, right? Xerxes can do that, so he doesn't have to stick with this with Bruno, knowing there's nobody else. Listen, take Bruno out, put Xerxes in the 10, Rasmus, and you keep Rashi because Rashi was not he wasn't really bad yesterday. Rashi could have stayed, and then you bring in even if you take Ahmad out, you put Garnacho on the right, then you go for it instead of bringing these subs at the 70th minute when the game is almost already lost. Yeah, yeah. I agree with you, Jay. He does need to give Xerxes more chances. He was using the excuse that Xerxes needs more time to get acclimated into the English football and all this stuff. But Xerxes looks fit, man, and he has such a good touch in that link-up play. He makes things so easy, right? He makes things so easy the way he links up the play, no fuss, nothing. Bruno always, every time he gets the ball, he feels like he's being rushed. Like, he has to get the ball out of his foot as soon as possible. Come on, man. Personally, I believe Bruno, when it comes to quality, he has quality. If only he could just calm himself down, look up, see where the easiest pass is. Like Ericsson. Ericsson, the way he plays, man, easy pass, and then you keep it moving. The game keeps ticking. But Bruno is just rushing. I mean, come on. Even the last shot before the game ended, what was he doing there, right? Again, he's taking the shot instead of finding the back post, try to cross the ball, someone can attack it. Bruno needs to drop the search for spectacular. Yeah, he needs to stop that. He's always looking for that spectacular, right? Simple. We need simple. Get the ball, look up. And I think maybe something that Ten Hag can look, because Bruno, he does have the range of pass. So I don't know what you guys think. Maybe Ten Hag can play Bruno. He can play, for example, Xerxes in a 10, and then Bruno, you drop him back a little bit, maybe as an 8, and then you have, I don't know, you have Mainu and Bruno, and then with Xerxes, or you have, or you have Ugarte and then Bruno as an 8, and then you have Xerxes as a 10. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those, Ten Hag being stubborn, he's going to continue playing that guy, and that's what is going to end up him getting sacked. Ideally, I don't want him to be sacked, man. I want Ten Hag to work, right? Exactly. Yeah, he can play as an 8. Exactly. You see, Jay, you're saying he needs to watch how Fergie played. Listen, Fergie, some people are talking about going back to the good old-fashioned 4-4-2. You 4-4-2, and then you have Xerxes and Rasmus. And then they play off each other, kind of thing, right? I mean, It's one of those things like you're like, dude, Ten Hag, at this point you were backed, man. Like a lot of us, I don't know about you guys. I was always, uh, John. I see what you're saying, man. Good old fashioned 4-4-2, man. You know, 4-4-2 is what gave us glory back in the Fergie days. We loved it. You know, I mean, he needs to go to that or something, man. He has to change because I fought. I was one of the ones. Obviously from out here in the U.S. I'm like, listen, Ten Hag has to stay, man. He has to be given a chance to work with this new structure. He needs to be backed. So right now he has been backed. He has been given the money. He has the structure. He has to reward Ineos for backing him by getting these wins and showing us something. Like the Crystal Palace game, we saw something, in the way we were controlling the game, but still, we are not scoring enough goals. That yesterday he admitted that, listen, it's a mentality thing also with the players. But again, how do you fix that? How do you fix that the mentality thing? Do you train players to say, okay, man, listen, this is what you need to do when you get to a certain spot? I don't know. It's very strange. And each time we're watching this team, it's like you don't know what you're gonna get. I always, whenever I'm watching United, I feel like it's one of those, like Forrest Gump. It's like a box of chocolate. You don't know what you're gonna get. I mean, geez, like that Twente game. Watching that game, I was like, this is gonna be an easy night, man. We're gonna go in. We're gonna kill them. And then by halftime, you make a whole bunch of changes. You bring in Collier because we need Toby Collier to get some game time, that kind of thing. But oh no, we just had to make it hard for us, right? It's never easy, man. It's never easy for us. So, I really feel for, Ten Hag because, I would hate for him to be sacked. And the way, based on this Project 150, Omar Barada is saying that, hey, 2028, we need to be challenging for the title. I don't know what you guys think. Is it doable? Um, any players, but I think some players have passed their prime. Oh, yeah, for sure. Jay, I agree with you. Some players have passed their prime. So, guys, do you guys think that by 2028 we could be challenging for the Premiership? What do you guys think? I mean, it's a bold plan by Barada and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, but it's one of those things that you are like, you as Sir Jim Ratcliffe, you are like, listen, I am not a spring chicken. I don't have all the time in the world. We gotta, he wants to see Man United hoist that Premier League title. So they do have to be ambitious. Now, do we really see with this team the team that we saw yesterday, or whatever, the team that we're building, do you see them challenging Man City by 2028? I don't know, man, because Man City, they're looking like they're gonna continue, winning, because unless the 115 charges, they click, and then they get relegated or something, right? Not a well-coached team at the moment. That's plus some deadwood that we need to get rid of. Oh yeah, I agree with you. Definitely deadwood. Like for me, I appreciate what Ineos have done this summer. Right, we got rid of a few players. Of course, to me, some of the players that I wanted to go, of course, during the summer transfer window was Maguire was one of them. Of course, Eriksen, Casemiro, right? Lindelof should have been gone, right? Even Rashi, I didn't want Rashi to stay, but again, no takers. Of course, we're paying them crazy money, so nobody's there to afford their salary, right? So, yeah, next summer we're gonna see. I'm sure we're gonna see maybe Maguire leaving, maybe Casemiro also is gonna be leaving. But again, Casemiro has a few more years to go on his contract. I don't know. Where is he gonna go? We're paying him over 300,000 salary. I don't know where he's gonna go. Saudi league, but the Saudis they didn't come for him this summer. Would they come for him next summer transfer window? He's playing less. I don't know, right? So yeah, and Rashi, this season is supposed to be his redemption season, right? And we saw some glimpses, like the way yesterday he did that nutmeg, that kind of, it's like the old Rashi. But again, he does all those good moves, but running into blind alleys. He's not doing much. We need that end product. I think that we get more product when Garnacho is in the game, right? Because he's always looking like he can do something. But Rashi, I don't know. In the last couple of games, the Barnsley game, yeah, he looked good, but we need consistency. We need to see that okay, he can run and go at fullbacks and really create something and finish it, right? So again, this is it. Next summer, man, if Rashi doesn't deliver, let's just let him go. But again, who else is going to afford it? That's the problem, right? It's a big problem for most of these players that they're getting paid a whole bunch of money. I'm so glad that the likes of Jadon Sancho, right? Jadon Sancho left. I don't know if you guys wanted Jadon Sancho to stay. For me, I was happy for him to go. He didn't want to play for us, right? He's happy at Chelsea. Wish him all the best. But I'm glad that we're able to offload him, take the salary out, and then maybe next summer he officially goes. We have money to play around with, because we're gonna get what 25 million or something like that. It's not too bad, right? Of course, Maguire, because I think Maguire goes, Lindelof goes. Then I think Ineos, from what I see from reports, they're looking to get in Branthwaite. I don't know what you guys think about Branthwaite. Cheers, guys. I don't know what you guys think about Branthwaite. Yeah, if we bring in Branthwaite, and then we need to sort out that left back situation. Luke Shaw, I love him, but that guy is not dependable. Luke Shaw is not dependable. That's another one. He has to go. So we do have quite a bit of deadwood, right? Yeah, we should have got before Garte. You mean who? Branthwaite? Left back midfield needs improvement. Yeah, for sure. And yesterday, I don't know, John, AJ. So John was at the game, man, yesterday. So what did you think about Ugarte, since you were watching him live? Because again, a lot of social media and everybody, they're already going at him, man. I don't know, personally, I don't like that. We should be supporting our new players coming on board, man. What I'm seeing from social media and stuff like that, and to me, he didn't play that bad. Yes, he had a couple bad passes here and there. It could be the jitters of, hey, Old Trafford is no joke, man. So it could be that. But I think he's a quality player. He can definitely do the job for us. But the type of he needs more time. I agree with you. Yeah, definitely. Ugarte needs more time. But I like his tenacity. I like his, he gives that the speed, right? So, and again, yeah, I agree with you. Regular football, that's what we need. So I'm thinking that in the Tottenham game, I think we may see Ugarte again in that midfield. And now people are saying, well, Ugarte, because of his tenacity and aggression, is going to end up being red carded and all this stuff. He's a disruptor. Yeah. I agree. He's a disruptor, not a passer. Very true. Right? And basically that's his job. That's what he's good at. He disrupts, and then you give the ball to professionals like Kobe Mainu, or people who can do something with the ball. That's what he's good at. And that's why Ten Hag needs to use him. But yesterday he was kind of playing way advanced, like I don't know, he was playing like an 8 or something like that, which it could be that is not his game, right? Now, I did not, actually something that I saw the other day against Barnsley, I think it was Ugarte and Casemiro. I did not mind that very much, because Ugarte, he could play as a 6. Casemiro does have a pass in him, so he can play as an 8, and then that way Casemiro doesn't have to do a lot of defensive work. It could work that way, especially if we go to these hard places like Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal. You can play that as a double pivot, those two, right? it could work because at this point, I don't see Casemiro leaving anytime soon. So Ten Hag needs to find a way to, incorporate Casemiro because you're paying him over 300,000 to be sitting in the on the bench. You gotta find a way to make it work. So because you're stuck with the guy, right? And again, Casemiro is not really the worst player out there. This man has won everything, right? Even though it was at Madrid, but still, he needs to find a way to incorporate them. Absolutely. And I was expecting Ugarte, Kase, and Ericsson. That's what I was expecting too. I was expecting that too. But, yeah, it didn't happen, man. It didn't happen. In the midfield, Kase is a baller. Yeah, Kase is a baller, man. He has that pass, man. He has that vision. He can make those passes. And that's why also I think that in that Liverpool game, right? I don't know if John, were you at the Liverpool game where we got thumped? Because those mistakes, I think probably Ten Hag sees that in Kase and says, "Hey, Kase, listen, I know you have the pass in you, use it." So he tries to do that, and then he created some mistakes because whenever you make those risky passes, then it can, if it gets intercepted, then you have a bit of problem, right? So, yeah, Ten Hag needs to find a way to incorporate Casemiro in the game because we definitely need him. I saw a report that apparently Ineos is considering letting Ericsson and Casemiro leave in January for free or something like that to open up space in the midfield. I don't know if that's the right thing because if you let Casemiro and Ericsson leave, who's going to be covering? Collier is not ready, right? So he needed a disruptor. Yeah, next to him. Exactly. He needed a disruptor, which Ugarte can do that for us. So maybe, Ten Hag can do something like that, and because I think Casemiro still has something to offer. Before the Turkey transfer window closed, there were reports that Casemiro could be going to Galatasaray, I think, or something like that. And again, the reports came out say, hey, no, he said, listen, he wants to fight for his space, for his place at Man United, because he has that pride, man. He believes that, listen, he had a bad patch, so he feels like he can still, contribute. You know what I'm saying? He feels he can still contribute, and I still, I think he can do it for us, man. I think he can do it for us. And yeah, I agree. Toby Collier needs time, right? Just like Mainu, for real. Yeah, Collier needs time, but Collier he's looking good, man. Collier with those long legs, yeah, the kid, he's good. I'm also liking the fact how Ineos they're buying these young players. I'm curious because from reports that come out from Carrington, they're saying Kone, yeah, he's like that. Apparently, he's on a fast track to the first team. So I want to see what he's going to do because apparently, as we progress, if we go deep into Carabao Cup, we may be able to see Sekou Kone in that team because that's another kid I haven't really watched, from the highlights from the YouTube clips and stuff like that. But I really would like to see him, do something and say, okay, he's for the future because apparently Kone can play that Bruno role as well. So I don't know. It could be the future for that role. Who knows, man? Who knows? But I like what Ineos is doing. They're buying these young players. They're buying these players that are potential, right? And of course, Chido Obi Martin. Yes, I agree with you, Jay. I agree with you. I cannot wait for Chido Obi Martin, man, because if you watch him those clips on YouTube, yeah, he can do bits. He can do bits. So I like it. I think the future with these kids that are coming online, and you can see the recruitment they've really stepped up their game, right? They're making sure like when all these talents that they're identifying, they're getting them, right? Because remember, guys, we lost a chance to sign Haaland. We lost a chance to sign what's his name? I forgot come on, really? Bellingham. We lost a chance to sign Bellingham. So we had a chance to get all these players, but at the time, because we didn't have footballing people doing, making footballing decisions, we kind of, we were like, nah, Bellingham, forget about it. Haaland, nah, not good enough. Come on, that's a disgrace, man. And so basically, Ineos says, "Hey, listen, man, we're gonna find the next Kylian Mbappe. We're not gonna chug a whole bunch of money into players. Those days are over," which I like that, right? So I think by the time we can offload the likes of Casemiro, offload, of course, Sancho, offload Rashi if he doesn't deliver, all these big salaried players. Going forward, most of the players that we're going to have, they're going to be maybe under 200K, all right, a week, which is good because if they don't work out, like Xerxes, he doesn't work out, you can offload him, because teams can actually afford to get them and pay them, right? For now, some of the players, we couldn't offload Jadon Sancho because, again, nobody could afford him. So I like our new approach. But the question is, guys, do you guys think we can win the Premier League in 2028? All right. Jason United even had a chance to sign Harry Kane. Yeah. But he chose Bayern. But again, Harry Kane. That could have been. It was gonna cost us a lot of money. It was gonna cost us a lot of money. I think maybe 100 million or something like that. But here's the thing. Let me ask you this, Jay. Right? Even if you were to bring Harry Kane into that as our number 9, right? If you don't have supply for him, come on, he's not gonna do anything, right? They needed to work with players that can create, and if nobody's creating for Harry Kane can't really do much. Yeah, Harry Kane can drop back and link up play as well, but it would have been hard for him to deliver. But again, hey, he went to Bayern, which was very interesting because he still didn't win a trophy. Interesting point from yesterday. Kase and Ruud were chatting a lot, yeah, with one another just before and after the equalizer, commenting and chatting and pointing. Both know a thing or two about Europe. Yes, they do, sir. Yes, they do. Yeah, I did see pictures of that. People were, they put it on Twitter and stuff. Yeah, they do, and I think Ruud also sees Kase like an asset, right? He can see like, listen, whenever those things were happening, I'm sure Ruud was like, hey, in a situation like this is what I would want you to do. Blah blah. I like Ruud's approach. I think that his man management skills are way better than Ten Hag, right? So I like the fact that he's part of the coaching setup. Now, I don't know, people are like, okay, if Ten Hag gets sacked, then Ruud is going to take over. Do you guys think Ruud is going to be successful? I mean, personally, I wouldn't mind Ruud being to take over, but again, what if it doesn't work out? Then again, people are going to be crying for sack Ruud. I mean, come on, man. We already had this thing with Solskjaer, right? When he took over, and people at the end there, they were like, "No, sack him, our legend." I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think it may work with Ruud being our manager, but again, the same token, I'm like, oh, man, I like the way it is now. Let Ten Hag take the brunt of it. Ruud can be in the back end, helping out or something. Yeah, gigs, all they said. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I don't know, but I like Ruud, man. I like Ruud, what he's done. And one thing I found out yesterday from when Rio went to visit Carrington, apparently Ruud coming to Man United was actually Ten Hag's idea, because Ten Hag, he wanted to revamp his coaching staff. He told Ineos, to get me Ruud and Hake. So that was interesting. Apparently, Ten Hag called Ruud to say, "Hey, man." And at that point, Ruud van Nistelrooy was actually, he was planning to he's planning his next coaching endeavor. and then he got a call from Eric Ten Hag saying, "Hey, man, I could use your help here at Manchester." And then that's when he hit him and said, "Whoa, can I be really going to Manchester United and help rebuild that team?" Because of course, these legends like him, they had seen, from our best, so they come in knowing, like, listen, can you imagine myself being part of this that gets this team back to the top? So he was like, listen, he had to take the chance and say, hey, forget about being the head coach. I'll come and be the second in command, which is which is good. I like the decision, but I guess the decision also works out for Ineos, knowing that you already have someone who has the CV to be a manager, chilling on the back end, ready to go in case you sack Ten Hag. It could be a win-win situation for Ineos, right? But again, will it work? Why isn't it working now? Because Rudy's already there now. We should be seeing, our strikers killing it. How come our strikers are not finding the back of the net? What is going on? I mean, there's so many questions for our team, man. There's so many questions for our team, and not enough answers, right? Because guys, imagine this. Imagine if we play Tottenham at home and we lose. Oh my gosh. It's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster. Because right now already people are calling. Yesterday, after the game yesterday on Twitter, it was Ten Hag out was trending. Imagine if he loses against Tottenham, and then after that we got Porto. He loses that, and then after that we got Aston Villa. Aston Villa, they're looking pretty good, guys. What? I mean, I don't know where our wins are gonna come from, man. I mean, geez, I was hoping that this 20 game would have given us some momentum, right? But we couldn't, take it over the line. And then now we got Tottenham, and Tottenham, obviously, they're going to come, they're going to attack us, man. But the only advantage I'm thinking for me with Tottenham, they play that high line, mate. So the high line, we can get, we can get behind. We have quick players. Definitely for this game, I would start Rasmus up top, right? Maybe Rasmus, Rashi, Garnacho, front three kind of thing. And yeah, something like that. Because with their high line, we can maybe get behind and cause them some problems. But we have to be really switched on against Tottenham because they will be coming after us heavy, And a loss again will be, I don't know what will happen if we lose that game, because how these pundits and people hate Manchester United, right? They hate us, so they want us to fail. So by us losing that game for yesterday already, everybody was talking about Ten Hag and putting all these reports out there like, hey, Southgate this, Southgate that, whatever. They like that. So Ten Hag, he needs to be in the back of his head, say, listen, I need to cut this noise. How do I cut this noise? By making sure this team, when I put out the correct team to make sure that you guarantee a win, right? Like yesterday when we were trailing, or when we were like 1-1 when they equalized, he should have thrown the kitchen sink at it. Just the way Sir Alex Ferguson used to do, man. He said, listen, whoever he had in the bench, he would throw them in. Have like 4 strikers out trying to get a goal, because he felt like, listen, he didn't want to have that regret, like what he should have, would have, could have, right? And Ten Hag waits too long to make his subs. He doesn't make the right subs, and there are a lot of people who are saying he doesn't really know his best 11, right? And all those, like, dude, this is your 3rd season. You should know who are your go-to team. Hey, if everybody's fit, this is my team I'm going to start with, because these guys are the ones who can guarantee me a win. But it looks like Ten Hag probably doesn't know who's his best 11, which is really sad, right? For a manager like him who has all the experience, and not knowing that, it's frustrating, right? So he really needs to work on who is his starting 11 going to be? When do you bring in the subs, right? Who are the right subs? And not having that fear of subbing, like Bruno. Like yesterday, if he subbed Bruno, Bruno being the captain, being subbed at some point, 60th minute, he will be walking out of the pitch knowing that, hey, man, obviously I am not performing. I am the captain of this team. People are looking at me to deliver the wins, to make all these, to change whatever situation we're in now. If we're down or if we, to get the win, right? I'm getting subbed. That mentally it will also help him too, because he'll be like, listen, this cannot happen again, man. I have to make sure next time I play, I give my all to get the win. But he kept him there, so now Bruno probably thinks, whatever the case, I don't have to play that well. I'll still be in the game, which is come on, man. That mentality should not happen to any of our players. None of the players should have the right knowing that whatever happens, I'm going to be starting game, or whatever happens, I'm not going to be subbed. That should not be happening to any of our players. They should know, hey, man, there's somebody else who can take my spot, and they can make it theirs, right? In each department, there should be that competition going on, right? So that's how it should be. I like what is going on in the midfield. Casemiro, Ugarte. There's competition there. The wing, of course, Ahmad looks like he has locked that right wing position, but also, there's some kind of competition there because you have Garnacho can play there. Anthony, like yesterday, instead of putting Bruno on the right wing, I wouldn't mind throwing in Anthony out there. At least you have a winger playing in the right position. Instead of just throwing Bruno on the right wing. Come on, man. This is your number 10, and if your number 10 cannot play as a number 10, you take him out. You don't throw him on the right wing. Come on. What's up with that? So those are the kind of things that they're frustrating for this manager, because a lot of us are supporting him. We want him to make it, but he's not making it easy for us, right? Or a lot of us, the fans, because the likes of John, who went to the game yesterday, the conditions were terrible. Rain was pouring down. They were there to watch this team, and then you watch that crap. It's frustrating for all the fans. He definitely needs to work on it to make sure, like, listen, whatever the case, man, we're gonna make sure we get this win. Set us up to in a way that we know, okay, whatever happens, we're gonna come out here with something. A win is a must. And which is it's sad. It's sad. But you know what? One thing I can say is, right now, Ten Hag doesn't have anywhere to hide. Right? We have games coming out thick and fast. These games that are coming up, he has to win, like not even a draw. Because you can say, okay, we're not going to lose. We're going to draw against Tottenham. We're going to draw against Porto. Draw against Aston Villa. That is not going to. It's not going to fly, because then, as these draws keep on piling up, we're going to be further and further away from top four. If we don't win against Porto, if we don't start winning in Europa, then our chances of lifting that trophy gets harder and harder, because that is our path for Champions League football, right? And to me, I think the Europa League route is the easiest route, if I'm thinking, right? Because Ten Hag is a cup type of manager, right? He knows how to play these cup competitions. So that is, to me, that is the best route to get to Champions League. Because if you think about it, if you go the route of the Premier League, listen, the first three spots are already gone. Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool. I think those are the top three spots gone. The fourth spot, you have Tottenham, you have Aston Villa, you have Chelsea competing with that, with us. So come on, it's going to be tough for the fourth spot. So he needs to make sure, like, listen, he needs to go to start getting into gear. Say, hey, man, this is it now, right? We got to make sure that we're back, to winning ways. Rude needs to train the attackers. Jay, I think he's already doing that, my man. Giggs needs to train the midfielders. Listen, Rude is training the attackers, but again, Ten Hag said it could be a mentality thing. All right? I agree with you, John. Competition, accountability, and Protection. Yes, sir. I like that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Competition, accountability, and protection. Yeah. Because remember back in the days with Sir Alex, we had like four strikers, right? Each one of those knew, like, listen, if I don't perform, I'm out. The next two will come in and do the bits for us. And it was like that all over the team competition. I was watching the other day Rio on it was a podcast. It was Rio and Owen Hargreaves. They were talking about back in the day. They were saying, listen, in the dressing room, in those days when Rio was in there, Owen Hargreaves, it was like everywhere you look, there were sharks in the dressing room. Like sharks meaning that, listen, everybody when they go on the field, they knew everybody had to make sure, like, listen, you gotta make sure you're giving your all on the field and no silly mistakes. Because if you make crazy mistakes, when you get back in the dressing room, you're gonna hear it from everybody, right? So everybody was like, listen, sharks, because they know if you mess up, you're gonna get benched, and then somebody else is gonna take your spot. So everybody was, looking to deliver, right? Each time they play, they look to deliver. I don't know if that's what we have now in our dressing room. People, these players, they're getting paid crazy money. They need to be that, listen, they're wanting to deliver. They're wanting to say, hey, man, I'm proud to wear this jersey, to wear this, the pride to say, hey, if I'm representing this team out there, I need to be able to say, hey, I left it all on the field. One thing I like about Licha, man, Licha, that's what he gives us. Each time he's out there, he lives it out there. Like that tackle, that wrestling double foot tackle, that was crazy. That was crazy. I'm so glad that he went for the ball. He didn't end up being a red card, but that was tackle because he was like, listen, this ball is not gonna pass me. Okay, it's me or it's the ball or nothing. That's Licha there. Licha gives it everything, and that's what we want. And yesterday's game, another thing that I noticed that with Maguire coming into the team, it messed up our rhythm. I think Delit gives us the ability of kind of driving into the midfield more. We have more control in the back four, right? And it was strange to see one player who was changed, and then the whole team, the back four, the mentality is it kind of shifted, right? Because I think it looked like, from what I saw, it's like Mazraoui, who to me is like the signing of the season so far. I can only imagine we got him for 15 million. Crazy, right? Mazraoui couldn't really attack as much because he was looks like he was kind of compensating, kind of keeping an eye on Maguire, because Maguire is not as quick. So Mazraoui couldn't really go into attack as much. But but when Delit is there, Delit and Mazraoui, they do have that understanding from obviously playing together at Ajax, playing at Bayern. They kind of know what each other is going to do, kind of thing. So it helps the team being able to play more into the midfield. And again, Delit is quick, so it's very strange that one change, and then we notice a huge difference. And I think if Delit was playing yesterday, I don't think, maybe he could have been able to prevent that goal, man. Right? So again, it's interesting to see one player can do that. So again, with the Tottenham game, I'm looking forward to see the back four restored. Of course, the low on the left, Martinez, De Ligt, and Mazraoui. That to me, the back five with Onana is going to be. I don't think it's going to change, but I don't know how the midfield is going to be, because I don't see Eriksen starting again. I don't know about you guys. Do you think Ten Hag is going to throw in Eriksen again? Let me know, because it's going to be interesting. Because we're at home. I know Kobe Mainu has to start, right? So maybe Mainu, Ugarte, and Bruno. It could be that, right? And then front three, Rasmus, to me, Rashi, and I would definitely start Garnacho for this game, right? Or again, you drop Ahmad. Ahmad was quality, man. I think Ahmad, each time that he played very well. So Interesting. Interesting. You guys let me know what is your predicted lineup for the Tottenham game, man. What do you guys think? So, but again, we have to get the win. We definitely have to get the win for the this game coming up with Tottenham because if we don't, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. All right. So guys, listen, that's really all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Make sure to smash a like, hit that subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you, all of you guys. Jay, John, you know what? I'll talk to you guys on the next one, and everybody else watching. Thank you for watching, smashing those likes. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.